Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm leading you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets which you can download in US Letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best be prepared for your exam, and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day when you're sitting your music exam. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel and do share out the videos. And now we're going to continue with 2019 practice paper S for the grade 2 booklet. So if you turn with me to page 17, we're going to have a look at question 6 now. And so I'm hoping, threw my pencil around. I'm hoping you've had a little go of this, and now we'll check through this together. So we're asked to write a higher note above each of these given notes to make a harmonic interval within the key of A major. So we're given lots of different pitches of note A, and we need to write a harmonic interval above that. Now, harmonic interval means that they're written one on top of each other rather than one after each other. A harmonic interval is like a harmony, whereas the melodic interval comes one after each other like a melody. And they've given us this first example here. So if you're not quite sure, you just follow exactly the answer that they've given you here in this example. So the only way you can perhaps go a little bit wrong here is if you forget to count your bottom note as 1, because this is the first degree of the scale. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, counting all the lines and spaces in between. We can double check that, however, by writing out the steps of the scale. So we're in A major, so if we write out A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Of course there are sharps, but your key signature is dealing with that, so we won't worry about that. And the degrees of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can see here we have an A to an A in the bass clef, and we can see that's an octave or an eighth. So let's count on from this one. So we're quite high up here, so we're going to need some ledger lines, and we've got to count up a sixth. Don't forget to count this given one as note 1. This is the A, the first degree of the scale. So we're going line, space, line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that takes us to A, B, C, D, E, F. And we can double check that F is the 6th degree of the scale, so we know that's correct. So let's move on. So we write down the low part of the treble clef now. There's A, 1, 2, 3 takes us to middle C. Of course it's C sharp, but your key signature deals with that. And we can see that C is the 3rd degree of the scale. C sharp, of course, because of your key signature. So again, we have this low A, but now we're counting a fifth. 1, 2, 3, where we were before. 4 is the D, 5 is the E. Counting line, space, line, space, line. And we can double check E is the 5th degree of the scale, so we know we're correct. Back into the bass clef now, counting a fourth from this low A. So counting space, line, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that takes us to, good boys deserve, a D, and we can see D as the 4th degree of the scale, so we know we've got that one right. So now we're in the treble clef again, a bit higher now. So counting from here, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That takes us to note G. We know that this is G because the lines are every good boy deserves football. That's F. That's G. Of course it's G sharp, your key signature deals with that, and we know that's correct. That's the 7th degree of the scale, so that's soon sorted. Let's press on to the next question. So now we're asked to write these time values in order from the longest to the shortest. I have to admit this really scrambles my brain, so I have to take it in stages and just cross out as I go along so I don't lose track where I've got to. So let's first of all, instead of trying to hold it in our head, let's write down the note value. So we'll count these in crotchet or quarter note values. So we know that that is worth 3 beats. That's a crotchet, that's worth 1 beat. That's a quaver or an eighth note, that's half a beat. That's a quarter of a beat. That's just semi-quaver, 16th note. Now here we have a half beat with half as much again, which is 3/4. Let's just diagram that out. There's a whole beat, we'll divide it into quarters. And so we know that a quaver or an eighth note is half a beat. So that's half of it taken up. And then the dot after it gives us half as long again, which is a quarter. And we know that a half plus a quarter gives us 3/4, so that's that one. And we know that this is a 4-beat note, that's the longest. So we've been given that one, so I'm going to get rid of that. So the next longest is the 3-beat note, the dotted minim, so that can go next. Now after that, it's got to be the crotchet. After that, they're quite small. So there's our quarter note, our crotchet with 1 beat. So 3/4 comes next. That's the dotted quaver, the dotted eighth note. So a half of a beat comes next. So that's the quaver, the eighth note without the dot. And then the shortest note of all is the semi-quaver, the 16th note, which is a quarter of a beat. There we go. So just a bit of calm logic and we've got through that. Now then, moving on. Question 8 is all about our performance directions and Italian terms. Don't forget this will include any of the terms that are covered in either grade 1 and grade 2. Remember, the list just keeps building up. It accumulates as you progress from one grade to the next. And so if you just refer back to your PDF document, I've given you some revision tips at the back of the last page. I give you some some revision tips, and I also give you a little test in grade 1 as well, so you can go back and just test yourself again. And then just keep your eyes peeled on these multiple choice answers, because sometimes they throw in a bit of a sneaky red herring to throw you off course. So just make sure you read the definitions carefully. So here we have the diminuendo sign, the hairpin closing down, which is gradually getting quieter. And they've given that one to us. So let's press on simile. So you can see the root word, it's sort of like similar or similarly. So in a similar fashion, simile means in the same way. So that's not too difficult to remember. Grave, that's not a very difficult one. It looks very solemn, grave word. And it means slow and solemn. There we go. Now we have allargando. Now it's very similar, the root word, you remember we did largo in grade 1. We can see the largo, slow root word. However, it's sort of just given it a little bit more description, and it isn't just slow and stately, that would be your largo. It's broadening. So just a little bit of revision there. It's not a million miles away from the root word though, so it does make sense. Now non-troppo, we've got 2 words here, so we need to make sure we get both words. So non is not. So already, so that always gets rid of those straight away. So not and troppo is too much, so not too much. We need to make sure we address both parts of that. Now this last one, it does look like it's an impossibility because it looks like it's telling us to be staccato and legato, which is impossible. However, combined, that means semi-staccato or slightly separated. And so we've soon dealt with those. And so you can see that some revision is required, but it's not too impossible, just a little bit of attention. So get your revision tips going, and that's that one sorted. We'll look at the next question in the next video. I do hope that's helpful to you. I hope it's helpful to your studies. These past exam papers are an excellent revision resource. I hope this is helping you. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated, and please do share out the videos Also, please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.